Yo, what's up guys? Welcome to another tutorial. I'm 7beats and in this video I'm gonna show you how to make a dancehall beat. So a lot of you guys sent me a question on Instagram where you ask me how I create my chord progressions and melodies. So in this tutorial I'm going to give you a look into how I create my chord progressions and melodies. So I'm going to use Analog Lab for my chords and I'm going to use this synthesizer, this Whirly. And I'm just going to select a really awesome preset. This one sounds really nice. And the first step is to create your chord progression in minor or in major. You can look it up on the internet, but when you're using minor chords, they're more like sad, and when you're using major chords, they are more like happy. So in this beat, I'm going to use the sad chords or more emotional chords. So the first one will be a E flat. And after that, I'm going to add this chord. These are just really basic chords. And after that, this one. And last but not least, this chord. So right now we've created a really simple chord progression. But maybe I'm going to adjust this note and maybe add one note right here because I'm using this one. That sounds way much better. And because I'm using this A sharp, I'm going to add A sharp right here. So this really gives the chord progression a jazzy feel. And right now it really sounds like it's played by a computer. So you can do this by selecting Alt R. And right now you can play around with the velocity and the release. So right now I'm just going to play around with the level. Like this, and accept. And you can play around with the randomizer until you like it. So right now I've finished an 8-bar chord progression. I'm going to add a melody on top of this one. I'm adding this ample guitar TC. So right now just pick a note which is in this chord progression and just start creating a melody. Really simple. So like this. This one is also in the chord, so this one. Or just going to follow the notes we already used, so this one, and maybe this one. So this already sounds really awesome, and I think by just following the notes in the chord and just being really creative, which can also be really hard, you can create a really awesome melody. So when you create something like this, which is 2 bars, so 2 bars, just copy this one. So right now the melody is way too boring, so we're going to adjust this part of the melody. So I'm going to turn this one up And we're just going to follow this part of the melody. Turn this one up. Sounds really awesome and still is really simple. So you can duplicate this one. And as we did on this part of the melody, we want to switch up the progression again and just create another melody. So the 8-bar melody will be really interesting. So I'm going to turn down this one. We can just duplicate this one, I think. And turn up this one. Maybe turn this one down. And as you can see, I'm using ghost notes, and if you don't know how you can turn it down, you can add them right here. So ghost channels. And this will really help you to create a melody on top of your chords. And as you can see, I'm basically just following the chords from my chord progression. So the melody you're building on top of this one, so the melody you're building on top of your chord progression will really fit your melody. So this will really help you to create a melody on top of your chord progression. And maybe this melody is too advanced for you, that really doesn't matter. So be really creative and make sure the melody goes really well together with your original chords. So right now I'm going to add a bass line, and I'm going to create this one from scratch. So I'm going to enable 2 oscillators, turn up the unison, and use a filter in Serum. So something like this. Turn down the detune. And you can turn on this one 2 octaves and this one 1 octave. And it's basically the same in every other synthesizer. So you can play around with this one until you like it. So I think this bass melody goes really well together with the chords. So right now I'm not following the chords from my notes, but I will just follow the notes which are in the same key, just to add some variation. So just follow the key. And right now I'm going to add a really common element in those dancehall beats, which are vocals, and they are usually from arcade. So the scale of my chords is C minor. So when opening up arcade, set your session key to C minor. C minor. And right now just playing around with the vocals. This could sound really awesome. So, vocal. And I'm going to add a lot of reverb. So using Valhalla reverb. When turning on the guitar melodies, there is just too much going on. So we could use this in our arrangement. So I think I put together all the melodies, and right now I'm going to add some drums. Something like this. And I'm going to add a kick. Just keep it really simple. So I think this really fits together with the chords and the melody. So I'm going to play around with the guitar melody because I think this sounds way too sequenced. So I played around with the velocity and made sure not all the keys are on beat, so as you can see. So this adds like a groovy vibe to the beat. And I'm going to add this open head. Just really basic. And I'm going to add this double hi-hat. And I'm going to create a really bouncy pattern. This sounds way much better. And maybe we can add a clap just to fill up some space. So I'm just going to use the pattern I use for this rim shot and create these notes I've added. And maybe just add like an uprising clap effect. So set this 1 2 1 2 step. And just duplicate it. So I'm going to add a lot of reverb to my guitar. So right now we can create a really simple arrangement. So we just start with the chords and the guitar. The bassline. So right here I'm going to switch up the kick pattern. So I'm going to create a new pattern. So I've added some kicks to switch it up. And I'm going to add an 808 to this part. So I'm going to create a second layer right here. So I'm going to use this 808. And this one is in C. So the 808 is already tuned. And we're going to create an envelope like this. So it should be something like this. So I'm going to keep this one really simple. Just create a new pattern. And this should be it. Thank you so much for watching this tutorial. I hope I showed you guys how you create a really simple but awesome melody. Make sure to check out my most recent Afrobeat sample pack, so all the sounds I use in this tutorial are also included in that Afrobeat sample pack. And see you guys in one of my next videos.